Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about connecting clauses. This is an important video, so please pay attention. What is a clause? A clause is a part of a sentence that makes sense on its own. So that means that it has a person that or a thing that does the verb. So it has a subject and a verb. If it has these two things, it makes sense on its own. So the test is very easy, and I think I did well on it, has how many clauses? 2. It has two different parts that make sense on their own. The test is very easy. I think I did well on it. Okay, the test is the subject is the verb in the first clause, and in the second clause, I is the subject and think is the verb. Let's talk about the connecting clauses. So again, right here, before we talk about connecting clauses, that's an example. The word and connects these two clauses, connects the red clause and this other red clause, connected by the word and. What can connecting clauses do? Well, connecting clauses can continue. For example, the sentence is not interrupted and it just continues. It's one big related thought. Steve went to the store and bought milk. So this entire thing, the result of this entire sentence, is one big uninterrupted thought. Going to the store and buying milk. Two clauses communicating one similar, related idea. Connecting clauses can also contradict. Two ideas that are different and opposite or that do not go well together. And connecting clauses that do this are the words but, yet, and however. So for example, Steve went to the store, yet he didn't buy any milk. Two clauses, Steve went to the store, he didn't buy any milk, and the connecting clause is right between these two clauses because it brings them together, and it's a contradictory clause. Steve went to the store, however, he did not bring any money. Again, it's a contradictory clause. Yes, it's a contradictory clause. I said that correctly. Steve went to the store, that's one clause, it makes sense on its own. He did not bring any money, that's another clause, and it makes sense on its own. And these two clauses are brought together by the word however. Okay? So we have clauses that can continue and clauses that can contradict, and we have clauses that cause. So we have clauses that bring about something. It's one idea causes another idea, or one clause brings about another clause. So the first part of the sentence causes the other part of the sentence. One clause can also explain another clause, and the words that indicate this type of relationship are the words so, therefore, since, or because. So if you see those words, you know that it's a relationship in which one clause makes the other clause happen. Steve went to the store because he wanted to buy some milk. What's the clause? What are the clauses here? Steve went to the store. That's a sentence. It makes sense on its own. He wanted to buy some milk. That's also a sentence. It also makes sense on its own. The causing clause is the word because. That rhymed. Steve went to his friend. Therefore, he wanted to borrow a pencil. So Steve went to his friend. Once he went to his friend, he wanted to borrow a pencil. So him going to his friend caused him to want to borrow a pencil. Steve went, I don't know why I have two twice. Steve went to the store, so he wanted to buy some milk. We have the word because in the first one, therefore here, and so here. So I think you understand the point. You can have clauses that cause other clauses. Make sure that the correct conjunction is used. So all the things that we just saw right now, these are conjunctions that connect clauses. Identify the parts or the clauses of the sentence and clear out non-essential clauses. So you have to essentially get the most basic parts of the sentence, the two clauses. And you have to get rid of the clauses that don't need to be there, the clauses that are not really necessary. For example, maple syrup, which is very rare, is the most common form of liquid sugar sold in the world, but it is very good. That is a complex sentence. It has many things going on. It's a lot of communication being told at you at the same time, and yet we don't really need the entire part. And the part that we don't need is the part in between the commas, which is very rare, this part that I've highlighted. That's a non-essential clause. We can get rid of that, and the sentence will make sense without it. Maple syrup is the most common form of liquid sugar sold in the world, but it is very good. So, but is a conjunction that connects the two clauses. This is the first clause, and this is the second clause. Maple syrup is the most common form. Again, this is what I just said. That's the first clause, which is very rare. The second clause, and the conjunction, if you didn't notice, it was wrong. It's not a contradiction. Okay? What do I mean? You see the sentence? Maple syrup is the most common form of liquid sugar sold in the world, but it is very good. Does that make sense? Like, is that a contradiction? If it's the most common form of liquid sugar sold in the world, does that mean that it's bad? Does that mean that it tastes bad? No, because if it tasted bad, why would it be the most common form of liquid sugar? So the conjunction but right here is wrong because these are not clauses that contradict each other or that are opposite. These are clauses that belong together. So these are clauses that explain each other. So instead of saying but, we should say maple syrup is the most common form of liquid sugar sold in the world because it is very good, and we have the correct conjunction used there. Let me go through it one more time really fast. Connecting clauses. A clause is a part of a sentence that makes sense on its own. The test is very easy. I think I did well on it. We can connect clauses using conjunctions. Conjunctions can continue a sentence. They can contradict a sentence. They can cause a sentence. And the examples that I gave are examples that illustrate all those points. That's it for this video. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one.